Self-discovery on the way. Reflect, reset, be your best. Join the quiz, it's not a test. Feel the light, embrace the dawn. Empowerment is going strong. Daily lesson quiz, hooray! What did we learn today? Join the fun, let's all play. Reflect, reset, rise today. Morning gods, we shine so bright. Wisdom flowing pure insight. Tours through God's words, they lift us high. New beginnings reach the sky. Every moment take it in. Start anew, let's begin. From the dawn to the night, together we ignite. Daily lesson quiz, hooray! What did we learn today? Join the fun, let's all play. Reflect, reset, rise today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to First Light Reflections, your weekday guide to self-discovery and empowerment, where each sunrise brings you and I a new chance to reflect, reset, and create the best version of ourselves. And considering that we are made in His image, this is a wonderful mission that we come on each morning, each weekday morning, Monday through Friday at 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Just as Alicia knows, God's favorite time zone. Good morning, family. And I start out by saying happy anniversary to Wayne and Delisa, 37th anniversary, man. Look how God blessed you, Brother Wayne. 37 years with my wonderful sister. I'm telling you, count your blessings, man. Count your blessings. God did real good for you. Good morning, saying good morning. Good morning, Brother Wayne. Good morning, Charlotte. Sometimes that just tickles me every time I see it. Good morning, my dear friend Michelle. I saw your email late last night and I did respond back to that. Let's see. Good morning, Mama B. How are you doing? I hope you are feeling better and well and up and at 'em, and just keeping Alicia on her toes. Thank you for that, Mama B. Thank you. Good morning, Alicia. So glad to see you here with us, family, as we prepare to go on another day's transformative journey. Are y'all ready this morning as we enter this time of reflection? Let us remember to yield our hearts to the Lord. Why? Because seeking His kingdom and His purpose above all else is what transforms us. So let us invite Him into our presence on this day. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. All right? Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for keeping us throughout this week, keeping your hand around us on the things that we didn't even see that you protected us from. We say thank you for that. As we prepare to go into this morning's lesson and study through your word, continuing to draw knowledge from the book of Proverbs, may we have the strength and courage to apply it as wisdom so that we can live those lives of peace, hope, and joy that you intended for each and every one of us to live. We invite you to tabernacle with us, and may you be glorified. In Jesus' name, amen. Excuse me. Let's see. Make sure I did not miss anyone, did not miss anything. I think so. I think I got everyone. Said hello to everyone. If you're watching this on Facebook, good morning to you. Those of you that may be on YouTube watching on the outside or on the replay, good morning to you. Thank you for being here. If you're on the replay, leave me a comment. Let me know that you are here, because this is your community, your space to reflect and grow as we shine together as lights in this world. This morning, we will be looking at verse 18. Yep, just solely verse 18, chapter 9, Proverbs 9, verse 18. Foolish choices, painful consequences. Yes, that's the journey that we're going on. As I start out asking, have you ever been tricked by something that looked right, man, but it wrecked you later? As they say, tore us up. It's like biting into a shiny, perfect apple, only to find out, man, this thing is rotten on the inside. Have you ever done that? The apple looks so good, and you're like, man, I can't wait to tear into this apple or this peach. And then you bite it, like, man, you gotta be kidding me. Or even the bananas. Looks perfect on the outside, but you open it and you're like, man, rancid. You know, this is what happens when we ignore wisdom, because life hands us choices that seem sweet, they feel easy, or even look harmless, at times. But what we don't see, those choices sometimes are setting us up for a fall, setting a trap. Here's the truth. Foolishness doesn't come waving a red flag. It comes dressed like opportunity, like fun, like freedom. But the cost is what we look at. Way more. Costs us way more than you bargained for. So today, as we dive into Proverbs chapter 9, verse 18, family, trust me, this isn't just about avoiding mistakes. When we read into God's word, we always see a lot more. When we just look at it, glance at the passage on a surface level, but once you really study it out and look deeper, we see so many different meanings in God's word. Verse 18, it's about waking up before we end up stuck, before we end up broken and wondering, how did I get here, right? You ever walk into a situation thinking, I have this all figured out. You've made a plan for the plan for the plan before you even started to go into the situation thinking, okay, I got this. I have a backup plan. This can't fail. Only to realize later, man, I was completely wrong. It's like heading into what we think is a shortcut only to find ourselves lost, frustrated, and way off course. You know what? I'm going to take this shortcut. Even the sign says go this way, but I know it's short. I'm going to try this way. Then we end up lost. And the GPS is saying what? Reroute, rerouting, turn around. Like, man. And don't let us be running late and then we have to turn around because we got... Of course, that's a whole different thing. That's what ignoring wisdom looks like, though. That's what it feels like. The frustration. It's not just a wrong turn. It's a journey towards regret. Because usually once we find out that shortcut or that quick fix, we end up like, man, why didn't I just go ahead the first time? The regret starts to sit in. So when we ignore wisdom, that's what it's like, a journey towards regret. And the worst part about it is we often don't realize it until it's too late. So here's our question of the day. What's the real cost of ignoring wisdom? And are you paying more than you realize? That's our question of the day. Mama B says she's doing well. Praise God. And she received her package yesterday. Right. Thank God it made it safely. Yep, and so that means Alicia should have got hers that way. Alicia got her own stuff. It's nice, man. Nice cup. Y'all better grab y'all one so y'all can be with me, Delisa, and Mama B with our mugs. Nice heavy duty, nice 15 ounce. I think it's either a 15 ounce or a 16 ounce mug, not the little small ones that you're like, man, I got to go refill this thing. Nice, deep, heavy mug, too. All right, family, our question of the day as we move out of it, because as we look at this question, what's the real cost of ignoring wisdom? And are you paying more than you realize? Because verse 18 is going to give us a chilling reminder that foolishness looks sweet, but it leads straight to destruction each and every time. Guaranteed 99.999.6% of the time, right? But he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of hell. And if I know Michelle had went ahead and read this before me. She was like, let me see. Michelle usually stays in step or stays ahead of me. I know you did, didn't you, Michelle? Michelle says, yes, very nice mug. 15 ounce. Yeah, I know it's 15 or 16. It holds a lot. Here's saying I share with you. Oh, come on. Hold your cup so I can pour some and share with you. Oh, man. Family. But he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of hell. See, I told y'all Michelle had read ahead to see what was coming. Now, Michelle, when you read this, did you do the same thing that I did? I said, oh, the dead are there? The guests are in the depths of hell? What's going on here? What's going on? That's what I did as I was studying this out, because he does not know the dead are there. And you look and you're like, Solomon, what were you writing? What were you saying here? What was going on? Look, saying, I was just trying to share with you. I was just trying to help. I was just sharing. So we're going to take this one piece at a time, because every word in this verse, every word, every part of it is heavy with meaning. But he does not know. This phrase alone says everything about how deception works. It's subtle. It's sneaky. You don't realize you're in danger until you're already deep into it. You don't realize that the water was a little bit deeper than your ability and your capacity to stay afloat and to swim in it. Backpedaling, doggy paddling. You try on, you're like, man, this water's a little bit too deep. And then you look over and see the sign that says, do not swim. Or the small sign that says, riptide, do not swim. Michelle said, I was like, what? Yeah, that's the way I was. Said, what now? But he does not know. Danger. You don't even realize it's coming. Think about how temptations show up, family. Think about how temptations show up in life. They never walk in announcing themselves. All of a sudden, next thing you know, man, why am I? It just hits, boom. It doesn't show up and say, hey, guess what? I'm here to ruin your life. Indulge in me, partake of me. Nope. It shows up in whispers. It's just one time. No one will know. The words that we're all familiar with. You deserve this. Deception works best. Deception works best when you think you're in control. That's the thing. Think about that. When you think you're in control and it's convinced you, you got this. You're able to handle it. No one's ever going to know. Delise says, gave mine to the hubby. It was a toss-up. Now I got to order one for Apollo and me. Now, see, that was sweet for your anniversary. You say, here, sweetie, for our 37th anniversary, you can use my mug. I'll order one for us. Good morning, Burton. So glad to see you. Right? That's how deception works, family. But the truth is, the more confident we are in our own way without wisdom, the more blind we become to the danger that's really ahead. That the dead are there. Now, this isn't just talking about literal physical death. This goes a lot deeper. It's a lot deeper than just the surface as we read it. In Hebrew, though death often symbolizes more than just the end of life, it represents separation from God. A life devoid of purpose, peace, and spiritual vitality. You can be breathing, excuse me. You can be breathing, but still dead inside. Numb to joy, disconnected from your purpose, just lost in a fog of regret, shame, blame, guilt, just lost in all of those emotions. But you're still alive, you're still breathing. It's that feeling of waking up one day and realizing, how did I get here? How did this happen? How did I wander so far off course? How was I deceived so many times to end up continually back in the same spot? You realize, man, I'm not the person I wanted to be. Or even deeper, when you look and realize, when you really sit with it and say, I'm not the person that I really thought that I was. I'm not. Who am I? What's going on here? You say, I've lost my way and don't even know when it happened. That's the death that Proverbs is talking about here. But he does not know that the dead are there. He or she does not know that they've slipped into a spiritual deficit, that they have created a separation, a disconnect between them and God. That's what this passage is talking about. But he does not know that the dead are there. It's the slow fade into spiritual emptiness. where life just loses its color. It's not as vibrant. You know, your favorite shirt when you first got it, especially black t-shirts. You get them and you're like, this is nice. Nice, deep, rich black. But the more you wear it, it starts to fade. And then by the time you know it, it's gray, it's almost white. You're like, man, I got to get me another black t-shirt. You know, loses its color. Life loses its meaning because of that slow decline, that slow fade. The last part, that her guests are in the depths of hell. He does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of hell. The phrase "are in the depths of hell" paints a very vivid picture for us this morning as I see Sabbath just over the horizon on this preparation day. This verse is painting a vivid picture, almost haunting if you really sit with this and look at it, right? That our guests are in the depths of hell. The Hebrew word here, depths of hell, Sheol, a place symbolizing the finality, right? The finish line of consequences. It's not just a surface level mistake. It's being entrenched in the results of foolish decisions. At this point, you're not just visiting foolishness. The passage is telling us you've passed that point. You're not just visiting it. You just didn't stop in and say, hey, foolishness, how you doing? I just wanted to hang with you for a minute. That her guests are in the depths of hell. At this point, you've stopped visiting. You've unpacked your bags and you've moved in and become roommates 24/7, 365 with foolishness. But here's the kicker. You didn't even realize that you RSVP'd. That's the thing. It was just that subtle. Foolishness is sneaky like that. It invites you in with promises of fun, freedom, and easy living. But once you're in, the door quietly closes behind you, and you realize that you're in deeper than you ever thought was possible. You know, in those movies on TV, in the horror movies, when first you're sitting there yelling, eating your popcorn, drinking your stuff, you know, and you're yelling, girl, don't even go in there. Don't even go. Why is she going in there? You know, you can be the only one watching the movie and having a whole conversation. Now, why would she go up in there? Why didn't she just turn around? The room itself looks creepy. Big old ceiling. Why is she going in there? But then once, the person goes on in. And then what happens? The door, you hear that, you can almost hear that little creak, right? From a movie. The door is slowly closing behind them. You know, we as the viewer, we're seeing the movie close, but the person's looking around the room. Oh, this doesn't look so bad. We're like, girl, the door. I know you've watched a movie like that. Nobody, you the only one, but you having a whole conversation with you between yourself and the TV screen and that character, that person that's in the movie. And you're like, this is it. The door done closed. She not coming back. She not gonna make it back out. I don't know why Sarah went up in that room. This is it. Bye, Sarah. Bye. You remember in the movie Django? Bye, Miss Laura. Bye. Right, let's get real here for a minute, family. Ignoring wisdom, it feels harmless until it's not. At first, we don't even notice it. We brush off that voice that's inside that's saying to us, hold up, wait a minute, Wayne, think this through. Right? We brush that off. Oh, I got this. And we tell ourselves, it's just this one time. I've got this under control. Hold up, D. I got this under control now. And you know what? Maybe you do for a while. Life doesn't fall apart immediately. Things look good on the surface, as I pick on Brother Wayne this morning. Right? Here's what Proverbs 9:18, our devotional text. Here's what it's shouting loud and clear. The cost of ignoring wisdom is always higher than you think. But he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of hell. Strong text. That's why I said we only have this one. We didn't need any other passages to go with this. Verse 18 was enough to take us through this morning. The consequences, they're sneaky. They don't just hit our wallets, our purses, our careers, our friendships, our marriages, our social life. They hit deep. They creep into your peace. They mess with your relationship and blur your sense of purpose. This is how subtle it is. And one day, we wake up and wonder, how did I get here? Man, I thought, man, look where I ended up. Right, Brother Wayne? It's a deep passage. Deep. But yet we look at it and it looks so simple. He does not know that the dead are there, that our guests are in the depths of hell. You know, if you look at it surface level, oh, a person walked by, well, didn't know that the dead was there. Well, probably, you know. But when you really sit with this text in Proverbs and look at the deeper meaning, I mean, it hit home for me as I was studying it out. And like I said, I knew Michelle had already read ahead. Michelle's already probably went into chapter 10 already and was like, let me take a peek and see what's off in here. But you know what I like to do with passages? I like to put I in it because that's where it starts, self-reflection. Charity starts at home, as my grandmother would say, and then spreads abroad. So she used to say, I'm going to teach you and your brother, you know, how to not be little hellions here at home. So y'all can go out and not go out into the world and be little hellions, right? Starts at home and then spreads abroad. So I like to put I. Let's read it from that context. But I did not know that the dead was there, that her guests were in the depths of hell. I did not know that I'd slipped into a spiritual decline, that I'd spiritually disconnected from God, that her guests are in the depths of hell, that I'd become so comfortable, so complacent, till it felt normal, not realizing I put myself in a position and moved in with foolishness and deception and fallen for the lies. When you read the passage that way, it really sits in a little bit deeper. Because, you know, when you have been in church, pastors preaching, giving a sermon, someone's giving a message, even you scrolling through, you may just see a 30-second reel. You're watching a video. How often do ourselves come to mind first? We think of everyone else, and usually somebody that we can passively, aggressively forward the video to, like, we're sending it to them as we want them to laugh, but really we like, you need to watch this because they talking about you. Right? Oftentimes when we look at these texts, when we read these texts, other people come to mind. That's what Satan does, takes the focus off of self, and he wants us to focus on everyone else. And that's how we fall into that. Let me fix them, as we talked about yesterday. Let me forward this over to Regina. Regina need to watch this and read this. You know, this is what we do. Come on, tell the truth on this morning. Tell the truth. That's why you need your daily bread. Good morning, Regina. Good morning. Good morning. That's what we do. But when we look at these passages, if we put self, the minute someone else's name pops in them, take them out and reread the passage and insert I, me, self. If you're sitting together doing it as a family study, put in us. We did not know that we ended up there as a family in spiritual decline, in disconnect, that we had RSVP'd as guests. We had become so complacent in this. We did not study together anymore. We didn't pray together as husband and wife. We didn't encourage one another. Right? Read it that way. I'm telling you, family. Time draweth nigh. Seek him while he may yet be found. Truth, most of the time, it doesn't happen all at once. No, things fall apart little by little, as they say. Right, Vanessa? Little by little. Scripture reveals different meanings, even after reading it several times. Right? We could come back to this same passage tomorrow, and God will give us a new light, new meaning to this, and see it completely different. Probably do need to. I learned to look at me first. So yeah, we have to look at ourselves first. One day, then we end up saying, man, how did I get here? Right? And you may be hearing this, looking at it and thinking, that's not me. That's not me. I've been good. I've made wise choices. I'm right on track. And if that's you, I say, stay sharp. Stay sharp. Don't dull your knife. Because the moment we think we're immune, that we're okay, that is the moment when we're the most vulnerable. Wisdom isn't a one-time decision. Wisdom is a daily discipline. As Brother Wayne said, we need our daily bread. Right? It's not a one-time thing. It's a daily discipline, daily bread. Because it's easy to justify shortcuts, easy to let pride creep in and make us think, I don't need guidance anymore. I've taken all the coaching classes. I have my therapists, my counselors. I'm wise and I'm good. I don't need guidance anymore. I'm on the route. I got this. I know the route. And as I saw in the chat earlier, someone put in, that's a bad place to be. Take heed, lest ye fall. Right? But then I know someone else on the other hand is thinking, man, I've already messed up. I messed up. I ignored the signs, ignored the advice. Yep, and here I sit living with the consequences. What's the point of even trying now? Well, guess what? Guess what? I have 2 PhDs in life. Probably have done it. Probably had it done to me. And guess what? I see you. I see you. The doubters, the worriers, and I hold a space for you. The ones thinking that you've strayed too far, that you've made way too many mistakes at this point. You're wondering if God still has time for someone like you. You're asking, is it even possible to come back from this? And the answer is yes. 100%. Yes. And here's the truth. Here's the truth. Lock into this. Even if you've wandered deep into foolishness, God's arms aren't short. God's wisdom is still calling you back. His hand is outstretched, saying all you have to do is take my hand and I will continue to lead you on. There is no depth that his arm is too short to reach out and pull you back. He's just waiting on you to make that choice to say, you know what? I no longer want to walk in the way of foolish consequences, foolish choices, and deal with painful consequences. And whether you're feeling confident or completely lost, God's not done with any of us yet. The same wisdom that you ignored is the same wisdom standing there with arms wide open, ready to guide you home. Matter of fact, wisdom will meet you if you just take the step and walk. Wisdom's coming out to the highest point of the city to say, I'm here each and every day, just waiting, just waiting. But also remember what the passage told us. Foolishness was there as well. So no matter where you are in your journey, there's always a way back. We just have to be willing to make the 180, humble ourselves, turn around, and head back in the right direction, no matter what anyone else says. Ready to walk willing into our purpose, the peace and joy, leaving everything else behind. For the confident person, stay humble, because wisdom isn't just about avoiding mistakes. It's about staying grounded, even when you think you have it all figured out. I remember last year there were a couple of incidents, and these weren't people that just started doing trapeze acts overnight. Just woke up and say, you know what? I think I want to be a gym. I think I want to be a trapezist. What's the name? I think that's the right word. They didn't just decide that they wanted to do that overnight. These were trained people, hours and hours and hours in it. But I know last year in 2024, there were several incidents where people who had studied the art of this and put in many, many hours, probably more hours than I have left on this earth to breathing. But even in all that training, when they knew they had it figured out, when they knew the exact, how many revolutions they could turn in the flip and still land back on that thin piece of tightrope wire and bounce back up, and still manage to catch the other person that's flipping on the other side, But they missed it. And ended up falling. And I believe one of them went so far off direction that the mat wasn't there, the safety net that was there. So those that are confident, remember, when you're saying, even though that I'm grounded, I've got this, I've got it all figured out. Trusting our future God. From the guttermost to the uttermost. Isaiah 59:1, Regina shares with us. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear. Being confident of this very thing, that he which begun a great work in you will perform it until the day of Christ Jesus. Man, family, stay grounded. For the doubters, stop believing the lie that you've gone too far, because God's grace doesn't have a limit. You're not beyond redemption. For the worriers, you don't have to have it all figured out. That's the beauty of this. God's going to handle that. You don't have to have it all figured out. Wisdom doesn't demand perfection, but it does invite progress. It's not about being flawless. It's about being faithful, one step at a time. Anything outside of that can easily turn into works. Legalism. Because it's never too late to turn around. No matter how deep you are into your mess, no matter how many times before you've ignored the signs, or how worried you are about messing up again, wisdom, guess what? It's still waiting. And the road back, it might not be easy, but guess what? It's an open road. And God will always walk that road with us if we're willing. And if we have a patience to move when the cloud moves. When the cloud stops, we have the wisdom to say, you said hold? Okay. I'm going to hold and be okay with it. And the second that you decide to stop running, stop doubting, stop worrying, that's when everything begins to change. That's when the transformation is able to start. Because wisdom isn't just about avoiding pain. It's about discovering in the process of that peace, purpose, and the life that you were meant to live. So what's stopping you? That's the question on the table. What is stopping you? What does it look like to ignore wisdom and end up paying the price? The career shortcut, you knew that cutting corners at work wasn't wise, but it felt like the fastest way to success. Now your reputation's damaged, or you were fired, or you're left wondering, was it really worth it? Because foolishness promises quick wins, but always delivers long-term losses. The hidden addiction, it started small, just something to, just a little something to take the edge off, just a little something. But over time, it's become a habit that you can't shake. You didn't see it coming, but now you're stuck. And foolishness feels like control until we realize all along that it's controlling us. The ignored advice, your friends, your mentors, your wise counsel, they gave it, the wise counsel. But we brushed it off thinking, I know better. I'm going to go ahead and go with my plan. But now we're facing the consequences, wishing that we had listened sooner. Ignoring wisdom, again, often leads to those painful, I told you so And nobody wants to. Ain't that the worst thing that you hate hearing? I told you so. And oftentimes we will sit and suffer in silence in the pain because we don't want to hear what? Put it in the chat. We don't want to hear that person come and say what? I know. Journal note. God's grace has no limits. Nope. Nope. No limits. We don't want to hear. We will sit and suffer in silence rather than having to hear, I told you. Told you so. The financial gamble. That risky investment seemed like it was a sure thing. Take all your money, put it in the blockchain, put it in the Bitcoin, put it in this, put it in that. That risky investment seemed like a sure thing until it wasn't. Until Madoff made off with all of your money. Now you're facing financial strain. All because wisdom took a back seat. And what did wisdom take a back seat to? To greed or impatience. Get rich quick. I'm going to have plenty to sustain me. Foolishness looks like an opportunity, but it often hides a trap, right? I told you so. Told you. The relationship mistake, you knew. The relationship wasn't healthy. Long before you said I do, but you went ahead and said I do, hoping things would change. I can change them. I'm going to fix them. None of the other people in this world was able to do what only God can do. But I can do it. I can fix them. You said I do till death do us part. Now you're heartbroken, wondering, how did I miss the signs? But you didn't miss the sign. You saw the signs. But you thought there was going to be another sign down the road that says bliss, happiness, and peace forever. Ignoring wisdom and love often leads to deep regret. So what's the one thing that we can do? One thing we can do when we've ignored wisdom and are living with the fallout of painful consequences. That's where the watch of reflection and renewal comes in. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The first watch of the night. The watch of reflection and renewal. It's that opportunity to pause and process. And as the day winds down, this is the chance to reflect where you've ignored wisdom as you're unpacking your lunchbox, washing your dishes, or getting the kids' clothes ready for the next day, trying to go through their homework, or just in that moment of, whew, it's been a long day. Just reflecting. Where did I ignore wisdom throughout today? Seek God's forgiveness and invite Him back in as a guide to put you back on the right path. This is the time to ask, where have I ignored wisdom? Where have I ignored wisdom in my life? Natasha says, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So glad to see you, Natasha, and so glad I saw your post yesterday saying that you'd been sick and that you were feeling better. May you stay on the road to healing and feeling 100% better. This is that time, family. 6 p.m., 9 p.m. The watch of reflection and renewal. Asking, what consequences am I facing because of those choices? Really reflecting. Sit down with your journals, your time, and go through this. How can I invite God's wisdom and grace into these areas now? Now, immediately. Set aside time during this watch to pray. Here's your prayer prompt. For those that say, I don't know what to pray, Tor, I don't know how to pray. Well, here's a starter for you. God, I see where I've ignored your wisdom, because remember, it says come boldly to the throne room. And we have to be willing to admit and speak. He already knows that we messed up, but we have to acknowledge it. I've ignored your wisdom. I face the consequences, and I need your forgiveness and healing. Teach me to walk in wisdom from this moment forward. Help me to choose life over regret and give me the courage to start fresh. Because sometimes we'll continue in the foolishness because we don't want to hear, I told you so. We don't want to walk in the embarrassment, right? The egg on your face, as they say, but eggs too expensive now. I seen a sign the other day. Somebody had posted $17.90 eggs too expensive. But you don't want to show people the egg on your face. Give me the courage to start fresh. Because often at times that's the hardest part. Man, they're going to say, man, she done separate again. She done left another. Yes, I did. Because I saw the foolishness coming. He wanted to put a ring on. No, he can keep that ring. I'm not going for that. Oftentimes, we're so worried about what others will say and not dealing with the consequences of the I told you so. We will go on with a foolish decision. Don't invest your money over there. Then we tell people, they're like, man, can I borrow $10? Why? What happened to your money? They said it was a good deal. Man, family. The truth, ignoring wisdom, comes at a cost. But guess what? As Regina confirmed, God's hand isn't short. It's not short. And the truth is, ignoring wisdom comes at a cost. But God's grace is priceless. His arm's not short. No matter how deep you've gone into foolishness, there's always a way back. Wisdom is waiting. All you have to do is turn around. Stop right there where you are. Stop dead in your tracks. Turn around and choose it intentionally, purposely. And you know how people are like, you did that on purpose? Yes, I did. Intentionally choose it. So today, ask yourself, where do I need to stop paying the price of foolishness and start reaping the rewards of wisdom? Remember, we talked about making those lists. Make that list. Make that to-do list and not to-do list. Make them both. Because when you choose wisdom, you're not just avoiding regret. You're stepping into a life. Come on, coach, get your head in the game. You're stepping into a life of purpose and fulfillment, family. Think about this. When you ignore your bills, does the debt disappear? Do they just take it, throw it out the window? No, it stacks up. Late fees hit, interest piles on, and before you know it, you're drowning in something that could have been handled up front with a little discipline. Up front. Foolishness works that exact same way. Every time we ignore wisdom, whether it's in our relationships, in our finances, our spiritual life, we're racking up debt. And guess what? The debt collector's coming. True story, the debt collector's coming. It might feel in that moment like we're getting away with it for a while. But eventually, rent a center, the cost comes due. Stress, regret, broken trust, it all adds up. But here's the good news. Let me hope you. I have a t-shirt that says hope dealer. Let me hope you right now. Wisdom can cancel that debt. When you start making wise choices, you stop paying unnecessary interest. You stop paying unnecessary prices. Instead of living paycheck to paycheck and a spiritual debt in your spirit, you start investing in peace, purpose, and fulfillment. So ask yourself, what areas in my life have I been ignoring the due dates of wisdom? And how can I start paying into my future? Not my failures. But now, let's cash in on the rewards of this quiz. Are y'all ready? Let's go.
In the morning, light so bright, it's the first light reflections quiz time. Tornado leading the way with God's wisdom. Let's start the quiz and seize the day.
Let's go.
Let's go, fam. True or false? Foolishness is easy to recognize from the start. True or false? Foolishness is easy to recognize from the start. Delisa with false. Heard some chickens across the street. Hey, neighbor, got any extra eggs? I'm telling you, I was telling a friend of mine. I mean, I know squirrels don't lay eggs, but I said, hey, people gonna be out digging in these nests, being like, any squirrel eggs up here I can eat. You know, telling you, all these random birds and things better start hiding the eggs, cause soon, gonna be out looking for any type of thing. All of those canned quail eggs, man, I bet you ain't gonna be able to find one on the shelf here soon. Cause really, the only difference on with the quail egg is on the inside. It's a lot creamier than the standard chicken boiled egg. Just a little tidbit there. All of those, you ain't gonna be able to find nothing. Brother Wayne says false. Telling y'all. That is false, family. Foolishness often feels harmless until it's not, until it's too late. All right, our devotional text, what did it tell us? But he does not know that the what? Wicked, lost, dead, foolish are there. That her guests are in the depths of hell. Man, we had a lesson of time with this one verse today, did we not? It don't take but one. It don't take but one verse sometime to get us on the right. Wicked, lost, dead of foolishness. Polar animals. They're going to have somebody on guard. People be out there trying to dig up the poor little turtle eggs on the beach in Florida. Nothing going to be safe. Nothing, as Elder G says, nothing. But he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of hell. Wow. All right, family, what is the realm of the dead symbolized in our devotional text? A literal graveyard, a fun weekend getaway, spiritual emptiness and separation from God, or a weekend at Bernie's. What is the realm of the dead symbolized in our devotional text? Which one? A, B, C, D? Amen. Spiritual emptiness and separation from God. We're going with C. Saying going what Regina and Michelle got. She's like, I don't know, but I think that's what they putting in. Right? You know what, Natasha? I don't doubt it. I really don't. She said people want to be bartering for eggs on the side of the road like they price gouge with water during the storms. Spiritual emptiness and separation from God. C is indeed correct. True or false? Ignoring wisdom can lead to both spiritual and physical consequences. Is this true or is this false? True or false? Yep, I really can see that happening. Bartering on the side of the road. Ignoring wisdom can lead to both spiritual and physical consequences. I have a student who offered to bring me some eggs. I'm telling you, better buddy up with some people that's got some chickens and some friends. Mercy. We see how times are coming. That is true. Ignoring wisdom can lead to both spiritual and physical consequences. Very much true. All right. Foolishness promises pleasure, but leads to success, destruction, happiness, or salvation. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Bartering days are on the way back. Well, what does it tell us in the good book? What does it say in the rule book? What does it say? Money will be no good. People will be trampling over it in the streets. It will not have any value to it. It says it right there in the rule book. And Regina can probably give you the exact text and verse. I know it's in there, though. B, destruction. Foolishness promises pleasure, but leads to destruction. All right. What's a modern example of ignoring wisdom? Cutting corners at work, seeking God's guidance, building healthy relationships, or D, none of the above. A, B, C, or D. Jesus is coming again. Lift up the trumpet, loud as it sings. I like that song. In full agreement. Vanessa says A. That is indeed correct. Cutting corners at work. All right. The watch of reflection and renewal is 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Is this true or is this false? What say you, fam? The watch that is also known by the name of reflection and renewal. Charlotte said false. I already wrote it down. I know that's false. Got a fly in the mail. The government's giving away free $2 bills. I got a stack of those in there, but actually, brand new. They still have the band on them. Yep. Going with false, y'all. That is indeed false. It's from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right, let's bring it home. Even if we've ignored wisdom, God's grace, civilization, threats, capital is always available. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Even if we've ignored wisdom, God's grace, civilization, threats, or capital is always available. Which one? There we go. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be available to deliver them in the day of the wrath of God. There you go. As we was just talking about, I told you so. I told you so. Right there. The words that we hate to hear. God's grace. As the song say, God's grace looks good on you. This is the day that he has made. Let us walk ye in it. What's the sign? You're deep in the consequences of ignoring wisdom. Come on, coach. You feel at peace with God's purpose. You feel regret and disconnected. You're recognized for wise choices, or you crave healthy habits. A, B, C, or D. What's the sign? You're deep in the consequences of ignoring wisdom. You feel at peace, feel regret and disconnected, recognized for your wise choices, or you crave healthy habits. What are we going with this morning, fam? God's grace is sufficient for us. I agree. You know what, Vanessa Burton? I agree with you. I do. 100%, my friend. Yes, when you feel regret and disconnected. All right. It's never too late to turn back to wisdom and start fresh. True or false? Never too late to turn back to wisdom and start fresh. Is this true or is this false? Duh, too. Charlotte. Sometimes. He said, duh. That's two. Dead giveaway.
Something is wrong here. Dead giveaway. Charles,
that is true. It is never too late, family. And this is what we'll end with today. Ignoring wisdom might feel easy now, but it always costs more later. But the beauty of grace, marvelous grace, is that you don't have to keep paying. God's wisdom isn't just for the perfect. It's for each and every one of you right here and right now, no matter what. It's for the mistakes that you made. It's for the regrets that you carry. It's for the burdens that you're currently carrying, for the shame, the blame, the guilt, whatever it is. And it's also for the fresh start that you're ready to take. So today, lean into wisdom with all that you've got. Walk in purpose and watch how your life begins to transform from the inside out. When we start to make healthy choices, we start to transform first from the inside, and then people begin to notice it on the outside. Our skin begins to look better. Our breathing becomes a little bit clearer. You know, we can walk a little bit further. Then face starts to slim down. People like, you doing something different? Like, yeah, I'm drinking my clove water. Hey, and speaking of that, you want to keep that healthy heart? Take you about 4 or 5 cloves. Drop them off in some hot water. Let them steep for about 5 to 10 minutes. That's going to help you. It's going to help your breathing, help your heart, your circulation, especially if you got high blood pressure. It's going to keep you regulated. But don't take my word for it, because I'm not a doctor or a physician, nor do I play one on the internet. But research it and do it yourself. Just plain cloves steeped in some hot water for about 5 to 10 minutes. Drink it first thing in the morning. That's when it's best for you. But, hey, don't take my word for it. I'm not a doctor or physician. Just look it up and see for yourself. And remember, family, you don't walk this journey alone. As we're on this search, as we're on this journey, on this path, the path of wisdom, we're not alone. Not only do we have each other here in the community, in the family, because we're more than just a community. We're a family. We're more than that, Monday through Friday. As Alicia knows, God's favorite time zone, Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Right? God is with you. Emmanuel, God with us. Remember, as they say, it's often our own words, our actions that lead to our downfall. So remember that, family. Walk in wisdom. Choose your actions wisely, because the consequences can be painful. All right. I got to get ready to jump out of here, family. Walk good, do good, be good. Hey, and you know what? As they say over in Poland, be gone.
Wake up to the sunrise glow. First light reflections, here we go. Torah uses God's wisdom to guide us every day. Self-discovery on the way. Reflect, reset, be your best. Join the quiz, it's not a test.